Hi, can you state your name?
Hi, my name is Essie.
Where are you from and what neighborhood and how long you lived here?
Well, so I'm originally from Ghana, but I moved to Chicago 4 years ago. So I've been living in Chicago for about 4 years. I live in Bronzeville. So,
What role do you think you play in your community?
I think I'm a community leader. I work with the Kenwood Oakland Community Organization, and we have different things. We plan different activities, different things, different programs. So, yeah, I'm part of a community organization.
How have you been impacted by your community?
I think I've been impacted positively by my community because I don't think if I didn't move to Chicago, I would have had this opportunity, like to work with Kenwood Oakland Community. They have different programs. They meet with aldermen. They meet with the mayor. They talk about social injustices that happen in Chicago. So I think without me being in this community, I wouldn't have known about such an amazing opportunity to be a part of.
Okay, how would your life be different if you lived in a different city or town?
Like I said, if I lived in a different city, I probably wouldn't have met like the number of people I've met and gotten the opportunity and exposure I've gotten because the Kenwood Oakland community is in Chicago. It's only in Chicago, but they have different branches and different organizations in different cities. But I think the one in Chicago is really special as to what they do and the people that work with them. And so, yeah.
Okay, if you can change anything about your community, what would it be?
If I could change anything about my community, it would be the fact that people aren't as involved as they can be. You know, like a lot of people just live in Chicago. They just go to work, they just go to school, they go back home. They don't talk to their neighbors. They don't ask like, oh, what is going on? What can we do to improve our community? Stuff like that. So I think I would change that about my community.
How do you think your community is viewed by others?
I think a lot of people perceive my community to be really bad, but I don't think my community is bad. And on the other hand, you have people that actually know and have experiences with Chicago. And since I live close to downtown, it's like a lot of people don't consider downtown like a bad place. Like they go there for stores, for concerts, and a lot of different stuff like that. But then when you think about people that think about the South Side, they think, oh yeah, it's bullets flying everywhere. Like everybody always shooting, it's always somebody dying. But that's not really the case. So it's different opinions on different people's sides. So yeah.
All cities have to deal with violence issues. How does this violent issues in Chicago compare to the major cities, other major cities?
I think over the years, Chicago's violence issues have been decreasing, but because of the way the media perceives it, like every day you see somebody has gotten shot, somebody got killed, this and that. A lot of people just think it's on the rise, but actually it's probably decreased compared to other cities where people just talk about the positives and not so much of the negatives. So I think a lot of people and the media perceive Chicago to be really bad and have like really high crime rates when that's really not the case. As over the years we can see that the crimes have decreased, and if you don't live here you wouldn't really know that the crimes have decreased because the media shows that it's increasing. So you just live a blind life and just follow what the media tells you, even though that's not the case.
All right. What are 3 topic issues or concerns that you would like to address or start a dialogue with your community about?
So one issue I would like to start a dialogue with my community about is the increasing number of missing girls in our community. It's a lot of missing girls, black missing girls in our communities that go unnoticed because on the news you hear about white missing children, Latino missing children, but then when it comes to black missing girls and women and children and people just in general, they don't really talk about it that much. Is it because we're black? But we don't know. So that's one thing I would like to talk about. Another thing I would like to talk about is how secluded and separated we are. Chicago is like one of the really most segregated cities like in the US, and I think that is a problem because we have people living on different sides, and instead of us learning from each other's perspective, different cultures, we just keep with our own group, so we don't get to experience such a broad thing of people's different beliefs, cultures, perspectives. So I would change that to make us more together. And the last thing I would change, the resources that we get on the South Side. So I think that Chicago has a lot of money to give to the city in general, but the government chooses to send that money to north sides and places with a lot of white population or a lot of white people in it. So I think the government should do a better job at evenly spreading the amount of funding we get for our schools, for programs, for after school things, for jobs. So yeah, I think we should do a better job at evenly sharing the money we get.
Okay, if you were in charge of the media, what would you show a change about what is being proceeded on Chicago?
So if I was in charge of the media, I think a lot of people would say this, show more of the good things that goes on in Chicago instead of just focusing on the bad things, because a lot of times they really give a lot of time to the bad things and then they just brush the positive things aside. So I think I would put more light to the positive things that go on in Chicago neighborhoods, people having interactions with each other, learning from each other, talking to this person or maybe saying hi. And you know, I think I would change that if I was in charge of the media.
How do you see Chicago in the future?
So this can be said two ways. So as of now, I think more and more people are getting involved in their communities and in community life. So if that continues to go on and continues to progress over the years, I think Chicago is in a good place of getting better and having good things happen to it. But if we have that decrease and we have more government taking over and the government keeps on having a political machine where it's just only certain sides that get funded or certain things, I think Chicago will be in a bad place because not everybody is getting the same amount of attention or the same amount of funding to make its citizens better. So it's two ways to see that. It could be either good or positive depending on how we take it.
Are there any other questions that I didn't ask you that you feel that should be asked to your community?
You can ask, if you had the chance to change city or where you live, would you do it? If yes, why? If no, why?
Okay, that's all.
Thank you.